The door burst open without a knock, and there was Vincent, keys still in hand, his face frozen in shock as he stared at me, locked in a deep kiss with Marcus from accounting. My heart slammed against my ribs. Zeke? What? Who is this? Vincent's voice cracked, the usual easy confidence gone. I pulled away, face burning, Marcus muttering an awkward goodbye as he slipped past my roommate and out the door. The apartment fell silent except for the distant hum of Seattle traffic below our fifth-floor walk-up in Capitol Hill. Vincent dropped his gym bag, running a hand through his light brown hair. I thought you were straight, man. Or at least, I don't know what I thought. He didn't sound angry, just stunned, his blue eyes searching mine for answers. I had dreaded this moment for months, ever since we became roommates 6 months ago after college. Ezekiel Thompson, the guy who kept his personal life locked tight in the big city where anyone could be anything, but family back in Ohio still expected the perfect son with a wife and kids someday. We sat on the worn leather couch, the one we picked out together at IKEA during our first week sharing the space. I'm gay, Vince. Have been since high school, but it's not something I broadcast. Especially not to my straight best friend. The words tumbled out, raw and honest for the first time in years. Vincent listened without interruption, his expression softening as I explained the pressure, the hiding, the fear of losing the friendship that had become my anchor in this chaotic city. He leaned forward, elbows on knees. I get it, or at least I'm trying to. My family's from a small town in Pennsylvania. You know the type. Church every Sunday, football on Fridays. They think I'm dating that girl from the coffee shop. But seeing you like that, it didn't gross me out. It just made me think. His admission hung in the air. We talked for hours that night, the conversation flowing from my secret dates to his own doubts about what normal meant. By the time the sun rose over the skyline, something had shifted between us. Not romance yet, but a new level of trust that felt electric. The next days were awkward at first. Vincent would catch my eye across the kitchen table during breakfast, asking careful questions about my life. I showed him photos from my college years, the ones I kept hidden on my phone. He shared stories of his own pressures, the expectation to be the strong, straight son who would carry on the family name. It's like I'm living a script someone else wrote. He confessed one evening over takeout Thai food. Our laughter came easier after that, the barriers cracking. Work at the marketing firm was the usual grind, but now with Marcus avoiding me in the halls, the secret felt heavier. I wondered if Vincent would pull away, find a new roommate. Instead, he invited me to the gym with him, spotting me on weights like nothing had changed. You're still my best friend, Zeke. This doesn't change that. His words meant everything. Yet deep down, I felt a new pull, a curiosity about the way his hand lingered on my shoulder a second longer than necessary. Weekends in the city became our escape. We walked through Volunteer Park, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot, talking about everything and nothing. Vincent asked what it was like to like men, not in a judgmental way, but genuine. I answered honestly, describing the connection that felt right. He nodded thoughtfully. Maybe I've been missing something. The air between us grew charged, filled with unspoken possibilities. One night, after a movie at the local theater, we shared a cab home. His knee pressed against mine, neither of us moving away. Back at the apartment, the tension peaked. That talk we had. It's been on my mind nonstop, Vincent said, his voice low as we stood in the dim hallway. I nodded, heart racing. For the first time, I saw him not just as the straight roommate, but as someone who might understand the real me. The conversation that started with shock had opened doors I never imagined. Little did I know how much it would change us both. The weeks that followed blurred into a routine that felt both familiar and entirely new. We cooked dinner together almost every night, debating recipes from online videos while the rain pattered against the windows. Vincent started opening up about his family calls, the subtle hints from his mom about settling down with a nice girl. I shared stories of my own parents, the annual pressure during holidays to bring someone home, anyone who fit the picture they had painted for me since I was a kid. Those conversations stretched late into the night, turning the living room into our confessional. Vincent admitted he had never really questioned his own attractions until that moment he walked in on me. It's like a door cracked open, and now I can't stop wondering what's on the other side, he said one evening, his voice barely above a whisper. I didn't push him. Instead, I let the silence sit between us, comfortable and full of possibility. Our friendship, once built on shared laughs and late-night video games, was evolving into something deeper, something neither of us had words for yet. The city lights twinkled outside, a reminder that Seattle held space for people like us, even if the world beyond our apartment walls didn't always agree. I woke up the next morning to the smell of coffee brewing. Vincent already in the kitchen flipping pancakes with a focused expression that made me smile despite the lingering uncertainty. "Morning, Zeke. Figured we could use a good start after last night's heavy stuff." His tone was light, but his eyes held a new warmth that hadn't been there before. We ate in companionable silence for a while, the kind that spoke volumes. Then he asked the question that had been hovering since the night of the kiss. "Do you think this changes us?" "Like for good." I set my fork down, meeting his gaze. "It already has, Vince. But maybe in a good way. I've spent years hiding who I am. Now someone knows, and that someone is you. It feels freeing." He nodded, a small smile breaking through. From there, the days turned into a gentle exploration. We started going for runs along the waterfront, the crisp Pacific Northwest air clearing our heads as we talked about dreams beyond the 9-to-5. Vincent dreamed of starting his own freelance design side hustle, something creative that his conservative parents would never understand. I confessed my fear of coming out at work, where the culture was progressive on paper but still carried quiet judgments in the break room. One weekend, we drove out to the Olympic Peninsula for a hike, the towering evergreens providing a natural cathedral for our growing closeness. Halfway up the trail, rain started, forcing us under a rocky overhang. Soaked and laughing, Vincent turned to me. "Remember when we first met in that freshman dorm? I thought you'd be the quiet one who'd keep to himself. Turns out you're the one teaching me about courage." His words hit deep. As the rain eased, we stood closer than necessary, shoulders brushing, the moment stretching until we both pulled back with shy grins. Back in the city, life pulled us in different directions. My parents called from Ohio, their voices full of questions about my dating life. "Any nice girls yet, Ezekiel?" Mom asked, the expectation heavy in her tone. I dodged as best I could, hanging up with a knot in my stomach. Vincent overheard and offered a quiet hug. "You're not alone in this." "Not anymore." That hug lingered longer than any before, his arms strong around me, and for the first time I allowed myself to wonder what if. What if the line between best friend and something more was blurring for him too? Work brought its own complications. A project deadline had us staying late at the office, just the two of us in the conference room surrounded by storyboards. Vincent's hand brushed mine reaching for a marker, and neither of us moved it away immediately. "This feels right," he murmured, more to himself than to me. The misunderstanding came unexpectedly when his sister visited from Pennsylvania. She saw us laughing over dinner, a little too close, and later pulled Vincent aside. "Is there something going on with you and Zeke?" Dad would flip. Vincent brushed it off, but the seed of doubt was planted in his mind, making our next conversations careful, almost guarded. Yet the pull remained. Evenings on the balcony overlooking the city lights became our ritual, sharing beers and stories of past heartbreaks. Mine involved a college boyfriend who couldn't handle the secrecy. Vincent's were with girls who never quite fit the mold he thought he needed. "Maybe I was forcing it," he admitted one night, his voice thick with emotion. The talk that had started with shock weeks ago was now reshaping our entire understanding of who we were and what we could become together. The city hummed below us, indifferent yet somehow approving. I felt myself falling, slowly but surely, into feelings I had never allowed myself to explore with him. Vincent's support had become something warmer, something that made the future feel less terrifying. The following Monday brought the first real test. A company happy hour turned awkward when a coworker jokingly asked if Vincent and I were roommates with benefits. The room laughed, but Vincent's face tightened. Later, in the Uber home, he was quiet. "Does it bother you when people assume?" I asked gently. He shook his head. "It's not the assuming. It's realizing I don't hate the idea." His words hung between us like a promise. That night we stayed up late again, the conversation circling back to family expectations. Vincent's parents were planning a visit next month, and the pressure to appear normal weighed on him. "They want grandkids, a white picket fence." Telling them anything else. "I don't know if I'm ready." I reached for his hand across the table, a small gesture that felt monumental. You don't have to be ready alone. He squeezed back, and in that touch, the boundaries we had once drawn dissolved a little more. The weeks blurred with shared moments that felt increasingly intimate. We attended a local art exhibit together, our shoulders touching as we discussed the paintings, Vincent's insights surprising me with their depth. On the way home, rain soaked us again, and we ran laughing into the apartment, shedding wet jackets in the hallway. Standing there dripping, Vincent looked at me with an intensity that made my pulse race. Zeke, I think I'm figuring some things out about myself. About us. Before I could respond, his phone rang. It was his mother, checking in on his social life. He answered with forced cheer, but his eyes stayed on me the whole time. After hanging up, he sighed. They keep pushing. But being here with you makes it easier to breathe. Our friendship had transformed into a quiet partnership, one where silences spoke as loudly as words. Yet external pressures mounted. My boss at the firm hinted at a promotion that required relatability in client meetings, code for fitting the traditional mold. I confided in Vincent over late-night tacos, and he listened with the patience that had become his hallmark. You've got this. And if you don't, we'll figure it out together. The turning point crept up during a weekend trip to the mountains. We rented a cabin, the isolation amplifying every glance, every accidental brush of hands. Around the fireplace, Vincent opened up about a past relationship that had left him questioning everything. She was great, but something was always missing. With you, it's different. It feels complete. His confession landed softly, like the snow beginning to fall outside. I shared my own fears of rejection from family, the years of pretending during holidays. We sat in silence for a long time, the fire crackling, until Vincent moved closer. I don't want to hide anymore, Zeke. Not from you. That night marked a shift, our conversation evolving into tentative plans for how we might face the world as more than friends. Back in Seattle, reality intruded. Vincent's sister texted warnings about their parents' upcoming visit, hinting she suspected more. A misunderstanding arose when a mutual friend saw us at a coffee shop and spread a vague rumor at work. The whispers started, forcing us to navigate office politics with care. Yet through it all, Vincent's loyalty never wavered. Let them talk. What matters is what we know. His words gave me strength I didn't know I needed. The emotional weight of hiding lifted slightly, replaced by the warmth of possibility. Our lives were intertwining in ways neither of us had anticipated when that door opened months ago. The family visit arrived like a storm. Vincent's parents flew in from Pennsylvania, their suitcases filling the hallway with reminders of the life they expected for their son. Dinners became performances, Vincent playing the role of the successful straight guy while I stayed in the background as the roommate. His mother asked pointed questions about my dating life, oblivious to the tension. You boys need to find good women and settle down. Vincent's jaw clenched, but he smiled through it. Later, alone on the balcony, he exploded. I can't keep doing this, Zeke. Pretending when every part of me wants to tell them the truth. I held him as he shook, the sacrifice of silence weighing heavy. The next day brought the major confrontation. During a walk in Discovery Park, Vincent's father pulled him aside, sensing the shift. Voices rose, accusations flying about influences in the city. Vincent defended me fiercely, his voice steady. Dad, Zeke is the best thing in my life. And yeah, things are changing for me too. The admission hung in the crisp air, a turning point that changed the trajectory of everything. His parents left early, hurt and confused, leaving Vincent devastated yet resolute. In the aftermath, we leaned on each other more than ever. Work became a refuge, but even there a co-worker betrayed us by leaking a photo from a group outing where Vincent and I stood too close. The rumor mill churned, threatening my promotion and Vincent's reputation. I won't let them win, he said one evening, pulling me into a hug that spoke of deeper commitment. We decided to take a small step, attending a local support group for men navigating similar journeys. The stories we heard mirrored our own, reinforcing that our path, though challenging, was valid. Yet the betrayal stung deepest when an old college friend of Vincent's posted a vague social media comment implying we were more than roommates. The comments flooded in, forcing us to confront the societal pressure head-on. Vincent sacrificed a weekend trip with his family to stay and support me through the fallout at work. "You're worth every risk," he told me, his eyes earnest. Our bond strengthened through the fire, each decision a testament to growth. I began therapy to process my own identity journey, Vincent joining a session to understand better. The psychologist's words echoed, "Acceptance starts within." As winter approached, the emotional climax built. We faced another family call, this time my parents joining via video. The conversation turned heated when they sensed the change in my voice. Vincent sat beside me, his presence a silent anchor. "Mom, Dad, I need you to hear me. I'm gay," and Vincent. He's part of that truth now. The silence on the other end was deafening, but Vincent's hand on my shoulder gave me courage. The call ended with tentative understanding, a small victory amid the tears. Our lives had been upended, but in the best way possible. The man who had once walked in on my secret had become my greatest ally and more. The holidays loomed, bringing fresh challenges. Vincent's family invited him home alone, a clear message of disapproval. He declined, choosing instead to spend Thanksgiving with me in our apartment, cooking a modest meal while sharing memories. "This is my family now," he said quietly, the words carrying the weight of his sacrifice. We decorated a small tree, stringing lights that glowed softly like the hope we clung to. The misunderstanding from the leaked photo lingered at work, with HR questions forcing us to address the rumors head-on. Vincent took the lead in a meeting, calmly stating, "My personal life is mine, but it doesn't affect my performance." His bravery inspired me to speak up too. Outside pressures mounted when a distant relative of mine from Ohio reached out, echoing the traditional expectations. "Your parents are worried, Ezekiel. This phase will pass." The call left me raw, but Vincent was there, reminding me of our progress. "We've come too far to let old voices define us." Our relationship deepened through quiet acts of care, him bringing me coffee during late design sessions, me listening to his frustrations about family emails. The city felt smaller, our worlds centered on each other. A weekend getaway to the San Juan Islands provided breathing room. On the ferry, wind whipping around us, Vincent turned to me. "I love you, Zeke. Not as a friend anymore. As everything." The declaration came naturally, a culmination of months of talks and shared vulnerabilities. Back home, the climax intensified during a community event we attended together. A former colleague spotted us holding hands and confronted Vincent publicly, accusing him of betrayal to the old crowd. The argument escalated, drawing a small crowd, but Vincent stood firm. "This is who I am now, and I'm not ashamed." His words rang out, a powerful stand that shifted something inside both of us. The emotional toll was real, with sleepless nights processing the fallout. Yet growth emerged. I started volunteering at an LGBTQ center, Vincent joining me, our actions reflecting the acceptance we fought for. Family responses trickled in slowly. Vincent's sister sent a supportive text. My parents asked for a video call to understand better. Small steps, but they mattered. The betrayal from the coworker led to a tense HR investigation, forcing Vincent to risk his position by advocating for me. "If they can't accept us, maybe this isn't the place," he said one night, the sacrifice clear in his eyes. We weighed options, deciding together to explore new opportunities. Through it all, our conversations remained the foundation, honest and raw. "Remember the day I walked in? I thought I'd lose my best friend. Instead, I found my future." His reflection brought tears, the full circle of our journey undeniable. The city lights continued to shine, a backdrop to our evolving story of resilience. Winter rains gave way to tentative spring blooms, mirroring the renewal in our lives. We faced one final family gathering, a neutral ground event in Portland where both sets of parents agreed to meet. Tensions simmered, old expectations clashing with our truth, but Vincent and I stood united. "We're not asking for permission anymore," he told them calmly during a quiet walk. The conversation stretched hours, tears and questions flowing freely. By the end, not full acceptance, but a door cracked open with promises to try. It was enough for now. Back in Seattle, we celebrated quietly with a dinner overlooking the water, toasting to the growth that had carried us through every misunderstanding and sacrifice. My promotion came through after the investigation cleared, a quiet win. Vincent started his freelance venture, free from the weight of pretense. Our days filled with simple joys, morning runs, shared playlists, plans for a summer road trip. The journey had reshaped us both, turning hidden fears into open strength. Friends noticed the change, offering support that reinforced our community. The societal pressures remained, but facing them together made them surmountable. As we sat on the balcony one evening, the glowing city below us, Vincent took my hand. We did it, Zeke. We found ourselves in each other. The words encapsulated everything. The shock of that first moment, the talks that rebuilt us, the challenges that tested us, and the love that defined us. Our story wasn't perfect, but it was ours, rooted in courage and humanity. The path ahead held unknowns, yet with each decision, we grew stronger. In the end, the man who had caught me in my most vulnerable moment had become the reason I no longer needed to hide. True or false? Love between two men can overcome any family and societal pressure if it's real?